shout out to Hoops Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoops Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoops Jargon. Shout out to
Hoops Jargon.
What's up, everybody? Another episode of Straight No Chaser podcast.
Thanksgiving Day.
Hey, yes, sir.
We're cooking early.
We cooking early, baby. We ain't putting nothing in the oven.
Holiday edition.
Ain't gonna be no chaser in the turkey either.
Hey. We ain't making no stuffing either. We ain't making stuffing.
Hell no. Yeah, stuffing for foreigners.
No raisins in the potato salad. We ain't doing that over here.
Oh man, hell no. Hell no.
Happy Thanksgiving to all y'all, man. How y'all living, bro?
Hey, to everybody. Doing good, man. Getting started. I started sipping about 30 minutes ago.
There you go.
Still licking the wounds for Sunday.
Still
man. Yeah. So while it smell like Thanksgiving in here, man, that, like Rich said, it's still staying a little bit, man. I know we were coming on, had to recap that L. That was tough to watch, bro. That was tough to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
I mean, I know we're going to get into it in detail a little bit, man, but just thinking off the top of my head, that was a real tough watch, man. So they're going to have an uphill battle, too, because, we down a little bit personnel-wise, but I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. They got to get their shit together today. Today, with who they got to get their shit together, especially on offense.
Yeah.
I'm afraid this may be some 2019 all over again with Buffalo. But I hope not. Buffalo.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, and they just spiraled from there.
Ooh, boy.
That was a really bad Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah, man.
It was like
it was.
It was like the spirit of the 90s Bills came alive and like sought revenge on the Cowboys on that Thanksgiving. They were like, we avenge our forefathers for what y'all did.
Everything you do to me was fair until you do that.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? That's a good point though, man. I forgot about that. And you think back. I mean, I know Buffalo kind of fell on hard times themselves in the last couple of weeks, but man, that was kind of the beginning of
their ascension.
Of their ascension, like this current group with that game, because they kind of been all obsessed. Damn, I forgot about that. That damn sure was a jump off point too.
Because nobody
really was
seriously until they
He's like, we lost to the Bills.
Whoa.
Right, and then he's like
Josh Allen. That was his coming out party, man.
Yeah, I'm sure was.
And now it's like, okay, we lost to the Bills.
Right. It's so bad, but it was at first. Like, how the hell we lose to the Bills, and then then they can win a playoff game.
Oh yeah, that's why we lost. Yeah,
right.
They hella talented. Yeah,
right.
It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they lose Allen and then Nathan Peterman got in and they lost to the Texans or something like that, and then the Texans, I remember them beating their chest. I was like, hold on, they lost their quarterback.
Right.
Shout out to Atlanta, man.
Y'all played the Commodores without Lionel Richie. Like, don't get ahead.
Right.
Hold on.
We don't need no jump out points today, man. We don't need to get the Raiders hot. Damn that.
No more springboards, man.
No springboards. We're not trying to put Derek Carr in the Pro Bowl today. None of that shit.
Oh man.
I hope not, man. I'm sorry to bring that bad juju over the panel, man. My bad, man.
It's all good. It
just popped in my head because I was in a house with nothing but Cowboy fans. That's why I lived in Dallas. Dog, it was just the leading up. It just was like, we about to whoop the Bills, man. We about to make this playoff push. Oh boy, it was some long faces. It was about 20 people. Oh, it was some long faces up in that living room, bro. It was like we was at a wake.
That was a tough day.
Yeah, man. So let's go ahead and speaking of clunkers, man, let's talk about last week, and then we're gonna get into what we're gonna expect for for tonight.
Today, yeah.
All right. I mean, hey, shout out to Son Smith. He was right on everything. Damn near.
Man, was he ever?
Was he right about 95?
Yes.
Man,
I hated that he was so right about
I didn't know he got down like that. The dude, he looked like Aaron Donald out there, man.
That boy like Aaron Donald out there, man.
Like Aaron Donald out there. And he moved around on the line. He went to the left side of what they asked. He lined up.
Everybody got that work.
He was all over the place.
Yeah, you couldn't leave it on
They lined
McGovern.
him
You
up.
couldn't
It
leave it on
ain't
Biotis. I mean, he went over to Zach Martin and
He
gave him the business.
He gave Zach Martin the business too.
I'm like, man, this dude, he wrecked everything. Even when Dallas had small glimpses, I was like, all right, man, we're gonna get a little momentum. Man, first down here, first down there, and then it comes to that pivotal play, either to keep a drive going or what have you, or to gain some more momentum. 95 would just wreck that shit, man.
And then the final play, the tip pass. I mean, that
was huge.
He is blocked and he still make a play.
Yeah,
he got blocked correctly.
He did.
He still made a play, put his hands up, tilt the pass, interception, game over.
Players make plays. Players make plays.
Yeah.
How many times we seen JJ Watt do that shit? Out of triple blocking,
man, because he called it.
He called it. I got to give his props.
I like hate to talk from a distance, but he can't.
We keep it a buck, man. You got to give him his card, man.
Absolutely. And shout out to Minnie Davis, man. Long time supporter of the Short Term Podcast. Yeah. Shout out to Minnie, man.
Happy Thanksgiving, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Man, you know what was I'm typically a glass half full cat. I keep it a buck, but I'm a glass half full cat. I like extracting positives from what was a really ugly ass offensive performance. Mm-hmm. Man, so as I'm watching that game, and you saw early and often how Chris Jones was just wrecking shop, right? He just completely destroyed everything they were trying to do, save for that 160-yard drive. They end up in the field goal. But when you look at it, one of the positives I actually extracted from it was after drive 3 of Kansas City's work offensively, man, Dallas' defense stood up.
They outstanding game as far as I'm concerned. The first couple drives, they went down and scored a touchdown on the play with Kelsey catching the direct snap, and then they went down and got a field goal. That was basically it.
Man, lost in
the rest of the game. We were in the game because of the defense.
Yeah.
Right.
And we shouldn't have been. We should not have been.
Exactly. Lost in the noise of how poorly the offense performed, right? Because that was the big topic. And they just absolutely destroyed their ass, all week here in Dallas. Mm-hmm. But man, lost in that was how well that defense stood up after it looking really dicey at the beginning. It's like, oh Lord, this might be Denver all over again. And then you got better offensive personnel. Let's keep that a buck. I was like, wait a minute, man. This they came in with some momentum. That place was amped as hell. And then they come out with a hot start, man. And Dallas actually bowed their neck and stood up, man. I was like, bro, that's Patrick Mahomes over there. That's Travis Kelce. Yeah. They got Hilaire back. I mean, they had all their weapons. And they did a damn good job, man, of keeping Dallas in the game. I was like, if we can carry that forward, and hopefully get guys back like Tyron Smith, who I'm sure we'll get into in a minute, and get some level of performance up front. Okay. I mean, that was the one positive, in from a debacle that I extracted. It's like, hey, man, that defense actually stood up to a really, really, I dare say, personnel-wise, the best offensive unit that they've seen all season.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah. And I feel like that is a fair half glass full assessment. You know how, again, the affiliates get. They be all over the place. And I think that's a fair takeaway, man.
Right. They dusted out the Rumble jerseys already.
Right.
They did. They burned the candle with the Jesus on it. Trying to reinvent
Rumble Jesus, Rumble Witten candles.
Because they just waiting to pounce on Dak. Whatever Dak has, unless it's still a game, man, it's right back to that original. Same rhetoric.
Got a hold with it. I'm not going to go. Despite the fact that you don't have Amari Cooper and you lose CeeDee Lamb, there were some plays that could have been made. I remember there was one where Cedric Wilson had to basically scoop the ball up from the ground, and he made a catch out of what should have been a drop. There was a back shoulder fade that Nathan, I forgot who it was, but it was a back shoulder throw that he missed that would have got a first down. So he was off target too. And like the line initially, they weren't doing that bad. He sped the pressure up by panicking, because if you You know that Tyron Smith's not there. You know that your internal clock is going to move faster. Like, but they weren't bringing that kind of pressure early in the game. But he was running out of the pocket sooner than he needed to. Like, he could have stayed for a couple of more, ticks and just read a little bit more. They were getting open a little bit later on. It was just the coverage was really good. But they were, eventually they were getting open, and he missed the check down, several times also. So,
or it was late.
That just wasn't. He just wasn't on it. That was just. He had a bad day. He had a really bad day at the office.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah. Well, man, it was. I felt Denver vibes from the opening play. I thought that was the perfect play call that the B put on. That double move on the first play. If Dak hits that throw. Who knows how that game go? Because, that place is nuts. They are absolutely rabid. It's noisy as hell. Dallas elected. They won the toss and elected to take the ball, which I didn't agree with that either. But
McCarthyism.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, we got who we got, man.
Right.
We know we signed up for at this point.
But that was the perfect play call, and he was wide open, and he missed him. I was like, shit, damn. And then it just, we were just in that funk. They couldn't block. And I don't know what the hell happened. They couldn't block in space. Like, Dalton Schultz probably missed at least 6 blocks on plays. Like that screen pass to Zeke. If he just gets in front of the guy, that's probably a touchdown. And so it was just a funky-ass day, just like that Denver game was, all day offensively. And then Kansas City's defense gets in their rhythm, and we saw what happened with that. But I just thought it started from play one, to your point, Richard, when Dak missed that throw. I don't know if it's a touchdown, but it probably was. But it's a huge play, and I thought it was the perfect play call. And you hit that play, it likely changes the tone and temper, at least at the beginning.
I was about to say
that
that's
game.
a tone setter. That's a tone setter, just like against Denver.
That he threw to Pollard. Pollard takes it like 35 yards or something like that.
Right.
Which would have been a momentum shift.
Yeah.
But they got called for holding. And yes, the offensive lineman held, but you gotta remember they can't hold them forever. They can't block them forever. So he got the holding calls. He was like, damn, throw the ball. Like, okay, throw the ball.
Come out. Yeah.
If you get that ball out there sooner, you have fewer of those. We hold on every. I say we as a former line. You hold on every play.
Yeah.
I don't care. They can call holding on every single play if they want to be technical about it. Because linemen hold. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You do whatever you got to do to keep the guy from getting to your quarterback or disrupting running lanes or whatever. So those arms tend to extend outside the chest plate up to the shoulders a little bit on occasion. Yeah. If you're fast enough, the refs won't catch it. But when you're sitting back there looking around, your lineman's like, okay, make a decision, do something. Yeah. They start looking at the lineman, you get the call. That's what happened on that play.
Yep. And I like to say, man, this game is indicative. I always say, man, the first 2 possessions damn near tell me how the game gonna go. And when we come out stalling, sputtering, that ain't it's been very hard to recover from that, man. And I can't help but always go back to the Chargers game. We came out firing on full cylinders, and Chargers a damn good football team, man. I'm sorry.
It's easier to hold off than to catch up.
It's easy, especially us, man. The way our temperament is, whatever, we don't play well from behind, man. I mean, we never really have, actually. But we'll make a good looking game out of it. But we don't have that type of team, man. But it's good that we didn't get the doors blown off, because it felt like it's about to, oh shit, here we go.
It looked ugly early, bro. It looked Denver all over again, man. And that's why I made the point about the the glass half full deal with as far as the defense, man, because you could almost understand them getting their doors blown when the Kansas City has early momentum like they did. The score is what it is. It's like, oh shit, and then you could almost feel Mahomes having a 4 or 5 touchdown day. Oh yeah, and Hilaire just going nuts. Kelsey killed him, on and on. So. But the fact that they stood up, got pressure, they actually were really getting good pressure on Mahomes in the game. They were creating turnovers. I mean, it's like, well, shit, man. I mean, they actually kind of started tackling a little better. I was like, okay. I mean, for a defense that we've been, pretty rough on, particularly with their how porous they've been in the run game. For these guys to have been, missing their 2 edge rushers, and as porous as they've been in the run defense, I thought he did a really admirable job. It wasn't a lights out type deal, but given the circumstance, I thought it was a positive they could extract, man. And hopefully they harped on something in the film said, carry this, because guess what? They're gonna need more of that today, because they're gonna have a tough because we all know Derek Carr gets hot. Derek Carr is really capable of giving you 350, 380. And he's gonna sling it around the yard. They got a great tight end and Waller. I worry about that matchup. Jacobs does his thing. So guess what? 4 days later, they got to stand up and do that shit again.
Yep. And to me, I think, and I hope that they observe this on the film. I think at this point, I've seen enough, and it's very clear to me that Micah Parsons is an edge rusher. Yes, he's capable of doing all the other stuff. You remember we had a guy named DeMarcus Ware who could also step back and do zone coverage and all. Yes, he's capable of, but his football card is to get after the damn quarterback. They couldn't block that dude.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
They could not block the guy. No, he comes off the edge, you can't block him. So why would you?
Excellent point.
Right. To me, it's time to commit to him being an edge rusher. We can get another linebacker in the draft. We get Jabril Cox back next year off of injury. Let's backfill that position. Let's get rid of Vander Ouch, who probably got hurt right now. When I just made that comment.
Vander Ouch.
Draft some linebackers. Draft some football linebackers, some sideline to sideline guys, and quit screwing around with this. Let that man be an edge rusher, man. He's Charles Haley Jr.
So when do we do that with Gregory or Lee Law?
You know what I'm saying?
Long term.
He got 8 sacks, and we've been doing hodgepodge.
That's crazy.
If he was focused on pass rushing, he probably had 10.
Let's stay there for a second. Rich, you bring up an excellent point, man. Yeah. Because like you said, because he's such a, I know it's a very general term, but he's such a football player, right? That he can function well in a lot of different spots, but to be disruptive. And what did we on game 11? So we got a 10-game sample, and you've seen him pretty much, stand in the middle of the field at the mic, and then because of the injury situations, go put his hand on the ground, and like you said, just you got one job, go get that fool. And in the 10-game sample, man, I'm tending to agree with you, and it's really interesting when you use the Ware comparison, because if you remember, and I know you do, both of y'all. Ware was about 255 or so. His rookie year, and you can see like, man, this dude, like if he bunks a little bit, and then like to Richard's point, commits to getting after the quarterback. Man, that play where he ran down Mahomes and caused that fumble, bro, I literally jumped out of my skin.
When the last time you seen something like that?
Man, it's been a minute.
The clothes
on the pursuit, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can see him gaining like 2.5 yards a stride, and then he gets there with that shot. I mean, that was Derek Thomas's type shit, man. That shit. Shout out to the
that shit look like motherfuckers who don't play for my team. Don't come and do that.
Yes, sir. Exactly. I said Derek Thomas.
When last time you seen a pursuit like that?
That was a Lawrence Taylor, Derek Thomas, Derek Brooks, Charles Haley type thing. But the guy was just, wait a minute, you trying to run away from me?
Yeah.
That's where you fucked up. I mean, because that close and that strip, man, that was some special shit. So Richard, I'm really glad you brought this up. I agree with you.
He don't have his grown man body yet.
That's
what I'm saying about Ware. Ware came back about 265.
He's what, 21?
That's about an off season, and you could see the bump, and it was game over. And he was on the Hall of Fame track after that. So,
the NFL going to have to deal with 12 to 15 more years of this.
Man, I agree. He's about what, 250 now? He's about 250 now, right?
Yeah, I believe he's 250.
Yeah, so he is at 260, 262,
about
5-ish range, 10, 15 pounds.
Which he will.
With that speed.
Yeah,
but look, the Joneses are going to have to get their mind right, bro. You got to pay this dude as an edge rusher, not as a linebacker. Get your mind right on that shit.
So I got a question though. So what is that? What are the implications for Randy Gregory and D Law? That if let's say, because I mean we can say this on this podcast, but we don't know what the hell the Joneses got up their sleeve. You know what I'm saying? But let's just say the scenario that he is our next great edge rusher. Where does that lead those two guys? Well, mainly I'm saying D-Law because we paying him a whole bunch of goddamn money right now.
If I can jump out there and play virtual GM, I think again to Richard's point, because of what we're seeing or because what's becoming, I think it's real hard for D-Law because that's an expensive, unavailable cat. This is new in year one, and see because I don't think you want to break Randy Gregory off that type of money to retain him. You already got D-Law in the $20 million a year category, which is top tier at the position.
Yes.
So if you got this guy coming and he's in year one of a 5-year rookie deal, I think it's hard for D-Law. I'll go ahead and say that right here, right now.
Right.
I think it's real hard. Rich, you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's also some inherent loyalty from Randy Gregory because this team stuck with him. When everybody else doubted him, when everyone else wrote him off, when nobody believed him, no one was interested in him, they stuck with him. We didn't believe him. I didn't. I ain't gonna lie.
I was done. Between him and David Irvin, I was done with him, man. Like, I was done. Never stay on the damn field.
They committed to Randy Gregory, and it's paying off now.
Yeah,
so
hell yeah.
I think he would be loyal to the Cowboys. He would be, willing to stay there and retire as Cowboys. He's trying. I think he's like 28, 29, somewhere around there.
Right.
So he's still got another 3 or 4 good, solid years on him, barring injury. Right. So D-Law, man, that's a big cap number. And to be honest, his trade value is he never lived up to the contract.
Yeah, late roundish.
How many times have we said this season that we missed DeMarcus Lawrence?
Well, if I go back and check the episodes of this show, I'm gonna use my grandma's language.
Now time.
Not now time. That's the country. Not now time, dude. Have we said?
We kept saying.
I can't wait till we get DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's nice to have him.
Yeah. That's what we kept saying. Was like, damn, it's crazy. We doing this with D-Law. That's what we've been saying.
I thought more about can we get DeMarcus Ware back more than DeMarcus Lawrence. You still got anything left for the tank, bro? You look like you're in good shape. I know you're damn near 40, and you're going to the Hall of Fame this year. I'm just saying.
Just prop him up. Just prop him up and push him towards.
But I think that's a great point you brought up, Rich. I do, man, because that was one guy I wanted to focus on.
Money elsewhere. Get us another left tackle. Somebody in that organization needs to walk around behind Jerry Jones all day long and just whisper, left tackle, left tackle, left tackle. Hey, good morning, left tackle. Hey, what's on your coffee?
Email to Will
left tackle in your coffee? Would you like left tackle and eggs for breakfast?
I just like that movie.
Left tackle golf club.
It's like that movie Focus with Will Smith when they had that last little thing where they hit that lick on that dude. They put the number like 58 in his mind the whole time, and then they made that
right there. Exactly right.
We might need to do that shit today.
Unless there is some off the charts generational player, we better get a damn left tackle in the first or the second round next year.
Right.
I'm sorry, Tyron Smith.
That needs to be the focus.
I appreciate all that you've done, but it's the Father Time's like in a hurry to call you home.
Got on it.
It's getting close. I know you're young in years on your driver license, like your human years, but you're in football years, you're aging in dog years, bro. Like
no doubt.
Like
it's time. It really is time.
Yeah, he can't even get through a full season no more.
Yeah. We joked about this at the beginning, the first podcast. I was like, okay, all 3 games we get Tyron Smith. I mean, it's 2 things guaranteed: death, taxes. Tyron Smith going to be out for the week.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Yes, it's time. And if you paid, you paid QB1 what you paid him, then it's imperative that you invest, to keep him, keep him upright and keep his blind side protected. So it's time to do that. So to your point, man, the open email to Will McClay, the subject line in Will McClay's emails between now and the draft, left tackle.
Right. Your left tackle is your insurance on your Ferrari. Dak Prescott is your Ferrari. Your left tackle is your insurance policy. Now, do you want to get Geico or State Farm or Nationwide or the good policy?
Jake from State Farm.
You're going to be there, or you going to get John Q. Smith, insurance at the corner store. That,
Right.
You know,
Fred Lawyer. People said Fred Lawyer.
Fred Lawyer.
You know,
and if everybody's a Fred Lawyer,
you have
Fred Lawyer
to. They go hand in hand.
email
You have to have a left tackle. If you got a right-handed quarterback, you have to have.
You got to have a left tackle
that can protect his blind side. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
You have a run-dominant offense with the left side of the line being your strength. You need a left tackle that can help your guys. That you got guys that like to run to the edge. Zeke, Pollard, that's what they do. So you need a left tackle that can get out there and
space up. Yep.
So, tell Jerry he can buy another yacht after he drafts a tackle in the first round this year.
If you can find a Rashawn Slater type,
Yep.
Because I'm booking him right now, barring serious injury, he's first ballot because that kid is phenomenal.
Yep,
he's phenomenal. What was the big kid out of Wisconsin, Richard, that went to the Browns?
I
mean, you just knew when he came out that he was going top.
He was a Pro Bowl tackle in college.
All pro. Joe Thomas. Rashawn Slater is that cat. It's like they need to find one of those like just right out of walk right out of college, right into the pros, and dominate for a decade.
Yeah,
just dominate for a decade.
That's easier said than done.
I know it is. Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, that's the wish. It's a holiday season. Feeling wishful and all those things.
That's fair enough. Tis the spirit. Tis the season.
Tis the season to hope and wish, and that's what I'm hoping and wishing for. That the Cowboys find a left tackle. Yeah, and what I'm hoping for today is that the one we got can put some Robitussin on that ankle.
Shout out to Chris Rock. Put some tussin on it.
Put some tussin on it, man. And go out there and keep Dak upright and do just enough with whomever he's throwing to today, be it Brown, be it Cedric Wilson. Michael Gallup is gonna have to step up. And guys, everybody I just named, if somebody that you know that might know you, please stop dropping the damn football.
Man.
Can we did they set a season high for drops in the first half this past week? It's like I know Dak was off. I know he was kind of, had a lot of pressure, was running for his life, but man, he made a bunch of throws that were right on the hands that they flat out dropped. It's like, bruh, that's why you're on the team. It's your opportunity to make plays.
You're responsible to catch it.
God almighty, man.
This is what the catch rate is. You got to haul it in.
That's why you paid the big bucks, man.
You got to make play today, man. So, oh, goodness.
Yeah.
So how does it translate?
I'm going to ask this one question, then I want to translate. I know yours is going to be a more natural transition, but Minnie did ask this question a little minute ago. I want to address it because I know it's going to be a funny response. He said, my son want to ask a question. He says he is 19 years old, and he was never seen you guys go to the Super Bowl. Who wants to?
Get him a VCR.
There are DVDs.
It's all good. We know the drill. I mean,
there are DVDs available.
Jerry Jones has prohibited this team. We've had, in my estimation, probably 2 Super Bowl teams that would have at least went, if not won. But Jerry Jones, being Jerry Jones, Jonesed it up. So under his
Scott Linehan won one too. Yeah. Linehan contributed mightily in 16.
Yeah, 16 could have been the year.
Yeah. Okay, so let's run through that for minutes, young son. Hey, that's a great point. First of all, that is true because it's been 25, so they've not been even before you were thought of. So that's true. 07 for sure, which is almost first full year.
The box Tony Romo's now.
Yep, 07.
Which that's the only thing I put on Parcells. Why in the blue hell?
No, not that year, Rich. The next year.
That's not Tony Romo year.
No, that was 06. No, that's when he came in the middle of the year. That was box. That was
when you replaced Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah,
what was the year he watched the snap against Seattle? Was that?
That was 06. 06.
That was 06.
When he came in the middle of the year.
That team, if they beat Seattle, that team would have won.
Okay, but the following year, which was his first full year as a starter, they went 13-3.
Yeah,
right.
That's the team I remember.
That's the team that lost to the Giants.
Yeah, that was the continuation of that season.
Yeah.
So Romo came in and he was balling out.
Maybe
when he replaced Bledsoe, they took off.
14 and 16.
Yeah. Because I was at the game when they made the switch, and like when they put Romo in, like we were nuts. Because everybody been begging for Romo. Right. And everybody went nuts when they finally put him in, and he went up there. He was just balling. But I didn't understand why you have your starting quarterback as the holder. No.
Who does that?
No.
Who does that?
That's a backup. That's a punter, a wide receiver, or some skill guy's job, or your backup quarterback. Because when you practice as a unit. The special teams guys
absolutely
practice like their kickers. Kickers are very finicky. They want the ball held a certain way.
They are.
You practice that. But if you out there running the A team, you're not practicing holding for PATs and field goals. It was a bad snap, but you sync with your long snapper too. So it was a bad snap. He botched the hold. That was it. And you're not Michael Vick, you're not Lamar Jackson, you're not even Colin Kaepernick speed. So you damn sure we're gonna take it and run it in. So
that's an understatement.
Yeah.
So Brandon James said he's been the holder the whole season.
Yeah, but my point is he never should have been the holder. Once they made the change, he should have been the starting quarterback. Somebody else could have been doing that job going forward. So
hopefully Minnesota will get
to 20. Happen sooner or later.
And hopefully
he got it. Go ahead.
Shout out to Minnesota. Hopefully he will not see his 21st or 22nd birthday without Dallas having been in the Super Bowl.
Let's see.
If he gets to 25,
young whippersnapper, you shall see it. Goddamn it. Let's see. So he says before he got the job in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but when you get promoted to CEO, somebody else answers the phone. Somebody else makes your coffee.
I ain't sweeping the rugs no more.
Checks your mail. Somebody else wipes your desk down. You don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? You CEO. Your quarterback, you CEO of the company. You don't do that anymore.
When you get promoted to the fries, that's when the big bucks start rolling in.
Right. There you go.
Nice.
I'll be washing lettuce.
Hey. Shout out to Coming to America.
Yeah, right?
Who else giving you these movie references and comedy references, man? Nobody else got that.
Flawlessly. Yeah. Perfectly placed insertions. Damn right.
Y'all hit that like button on the stream, man. Y'all like it. Man. Yeah, man. And so, well, I guess let's go ahead and pivot towards while we all are here is the opponent we're facing today. It's the Las Vegas Raiders. What are some of our pregame things we see about where they are, where we are, and how this game is going to look? And we'll set a prediction at the end.
I've been begging for the past 4 weeks. If you go back to it, run the football. Run the football. To date, Zeke Elliott has 200-yard rushing games. He has 2 games with 20 or more carries, and he's got 100 yards or more in both of those games.
Commit to it.
Quit trying to change the recipe to the soup. I get it. You got hella talented, and it's exciting, and it's attractive to use all of these wonderful skill players that you got, the tight ends, the receivers. I get it. And I know the Beav's got a million things going on in his head. It's like it's like an offensive factory in there. But the good old tried and true formula, 4 times 3 equals 12. Run the ball. You're averaging more than 4 yards a carry, you're gonna win football games.
Yeah.
Period. So we've gone away from the simple formula of you built that offensive line for a reason. Now you got Tyron Smith back today, thank goodness. So this is the first time they got the entire line back together. Tyron Smith they left, and now Leo Collins moving over to right. They finally got the whole line back together for the first time since the first week against the Buccaneers. Run the ball, man. Don't be cute. Run it. I don't care how it looks on the stat sheet. All I care about is, do you have more points than the opposing team?
Right.
And when you effectively run the football and you manage the clock and you limit what the opposing team is able to do. The Raiders are a horrible running team. They're one of the worst running football teams in the league. They average, I think, 80 yards per game rushing. They're terrible. They're also a terrible run defensive team. So
Yeah.
This is a tailor-made recipe. All you got to do is put the turkey in the oven. Run the ball.
I like that.
Put the ball in 21 chests. Let's go. I want to see Zeke have 30 carries today. I want to see Pollard have, 7 to 10 carries or more today. Especially with Amari Cooper out and CeeDee Lamb out. I for damn sure want to see them run the ball. They abandoned the. I think that's another thing from last week. They abandoned the run too early. We were never in a situation where we couldn't, effectively mix the runs in. I think that Zeke had 9 carries last week.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna win.
That was very Leonard.
I think it was 13.
That was very Jason Garrett-ish.
As a total,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to Jason Garrett. I know. Tough week. The clapper got
clapped. I saw Jason Garrett collecting shopping carts at Walmart.
Yeah, New York.
They hired him as seasonal help at Walmart. He gonna be working the Black Friday at 4:00 in the morning tomorrow.
Red Ball got clapped out of New York. The clapper. Hey, the process has ended in New York, and he's back in the crib. Shout out to Jason Garrett. But Rich, to your point, man, I 1,000% agree with you. I think, I know we all, hoop guys too, and, styles make fights. You go to matchups. Rich, I think to your point, man, because of how you've been compromised on the outside with the receivers being out, with your 1A and your 1A minus receiver out, you have to, like you said, don't change the recipe, man. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. You have to go lean on that run game today. Let those big guys, let them get off, let them go hit somebody. And Rich, having played the position, those guys, aren't firing and aren't getting off blocks as enthusiastically on snap 25, snap 30 as they were snap 1 through 10. If you keep hitting them and keep hitting them in the mouth, you'll eventually you wear them down. That has to be the recipe today. I agree with you. I even like that 30 carry snap count for Zeke, or a 22 to 25 for Zeke, 10 to 12 for Pollard. However it is, I would love to see a combined run total today of, in the 180 to 200 yard range, particularly.
Oh shit.
With run defense, that's a matchup that they really got to doggedly pursue and exploit to get that dub today. And just like you said, however unsexy it looks, damn how it looks, get the W. Get the W. And if that's the best course of action, by just playing some good old days, like
Tom Landry.
Yeah, Tom Landry.
Yes.
Literally go up there and ground and pound it into submission and walk out of here with a W today and just make that happen.
What they call 3 yards in a cloud of dust, man.
A cloud of dust. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what we have to do, because if we just being just straight up, two of your feature receivers out. So obviously you don't have talent on the outside. So you have to, again, a team that's not particularly good at protecting against the run. Like, dude, what do you talk about? It's nothing. We got 2 feature backs, fire and ice, wherever you want to shake that out as. And I think that's a poignant point y'all making too, because it has not been looking great starting games out. So like any OC, you're gonna overthink. You're gonna try to find what other wrinkle you can throw in to move the yards. Move the offense up the field. And I think in that space, you abandon what your go-to, what your strengths are. And so we got to just keep going past that point, because I get it, man. Like, if I'm a coordinator, one thing I want to tell guys, one thing about coaches, man, they are extreme overthinkers, man. Because when you lose and you look bad on your side of the ball, or even like say in basketball world, dude, you're going to get your ass ringed by the media. You're going to get ringed by the head coach. You got to justify the shit that you do. So when it comes out sputtering, I can see why a gadget guy coach, as the beef, is going to go through his bag to justify his position. So what we're asking, man, just kind of cut that playbook short. Yeah. Do what we do best, man, and let's just pound him to submission, man.
And I get it. The beef, we all know, dude, you auditioning for a coaching job. Yeah. We know you're a very talented offensive mind. We know this already, bro. You don't have to. You done showcasing, man. You enough. We've seen enough. You're gonna be the first coach off the board as soon as the season is over. You're gonna be the first coach to get on the call in the interviews, and you're gonna get the pick from whatever team out there that you want. So no need to showboat no more, man. Let's just win. Just win.
Man, it's a great statement in the chat. KP DeVille, shout out, says defense can't let Carr get comfortable with Waller and Renfro. Make sure someone is in his face most of the game. I 1,000% agree with that. And again, we're not talking about anything that you got to come up with this wild scheme. This is good old fashioned football. Run the ball on offense, get after the quarterback on defense.
Turn 11 loose. Turn them loose.
And it starts with the Richard's point that he so wonderfully made earlier in the show. Man, you commit to him doing just that. You know, again, on this side of the ball, you know, you can't really say missed because he hadn't been there anyway. Talking about D-Law. But, you know, Randy right. But DeMarcus, you know, Randy Gregory's out there certainly missing him because he was contributing mightily for his last mishap. So that's the guy who, through this 10-game sample size, has proven he can go get you what you need in that capacity, and that is create havoc and pressure on the opposing quarterback. And matter of fact, I hope Carr tries to run away from him like Mahomes did, so I can see that play again. They got to commit to him putting his hand on the ground and wreaking havoc. And you know, you hopefully guys get hot and make a play like the Dorrance Armstrongs of the world, who we've shown in flashes is capable of making a play. Maybe today is his day. Basham, same thing. Terrell Basham, get up here, hey son. Look in the mirror, take accountability. Everybody's hurting, everybody's going through shit, whatever else. Teams lost 2 or 3, kind of read a little bit. Hey man, look in the mirror, take some accountability, and make a play now that you have that opportunity on both sides of the ball. So that's a great point from KP DeVille in the chat, man, about pressure on Carr, because if he gets comfortable, then it's going to be a Denver situation. It's going to be a Kansas City situation. So that absolutely has to happen. Great point.
And you have to be careful because the Raiders have lost, I think, 3 in a row or 4 in a row, something like that.
They won last 2.
Raiders?
Mm-hmm. Raiders last 5. I'm tripping. I'm going back too far. They lost their last 2. I'm sorry. I looked at it upside down.
Yeah. And they've been on a downward trend ever since the Gruden thing happened. They've been on a downward trend. They're a wounded animal right there. So you got to be careful with a team like that. I'm not saying be afraid of them. I'm saying be careful with them.
Don't give them confidence early.
Cliff brought this up multiple times over the several weeks of the show. Is that early confidence to the opponent? When he keeps making the point about the start, he's dead on, because when the Cowboys come out with that fast start, it's particularly against teams you expect to be, even in compromised personnel situations like they are, you still kind of expect Dallas to win this game based on, the personnel that they do have that's available. But giving that other team that early confidence, and we saw how that happened in Denver. Rich, to tie back into your point, the wounded animal thing, because one of the craziest things that can happen is give a team that's looked hapless, feels like they truly have nothing to lose, and then you give them early shots, and now they think they can beat you, and this day gets way longer than it needs to be. So, to both of y'all, man, it's kill that early confidence, come out on the opening drive. And I think one of the best ways to kill that confidence is to pound them with the football. If you can get early success in that run game,
choke them out.
Exactly, stop them out, man, and start wearing on that head early.
Right. Once you have a lead, you're controlling the clock. You know that they're limited on offense. Then you can feed off the play action, because now you got your burner back. Right. Then you can open it up for Gallup to have a big game. You can open it up for Cedric Wilson to do his thing. He's a great possession receiver. Noah Brown and all the other guys. You can do some things even with them. But you have to set the tone and the tempo right there at the line.
Right.
Get off that snap and push them guys back and run the football. Don't put raisins in the damn potato salad, man.
Please.
Where your mama used to make it.
Whatever you do.
Don't put no damn raisins or pecans and all sort of crap that you see on YouTube. No.
That's funny as hell.
The old tried and true family recipe, man.
Right.
Yeah, don't make magic. It's basically what Rich said, man. Just stick to what's good. Stick to what you know the people want. And I gotta say this, man. And I'm real big on the psychological aspect of sports because, and people can say it's cliche, like what I said about the early start. But I'm telling you, these are all professionals. At the end of the day, even the practice squad guy can go. He was the man at school he was at previous, and confidence. There are guys who go to sports psychologists who kind of get in a funk to kind of work themselves out of it mentally. And you can manufacture that with the team that you're probably going to lose to, and they come out playing on your level. You're going to be like, well, shit. I can get this. Like, it's what you do is you get outside of your mind a bit.
Right.
And then when stuff starts clicking, the reverse effect is when you can't get us going against this bum-ass team, you're like, damn, man, what the hell? You start overthinking.
Right.
It happens more than y'all think, man. So I'm real big. I've been noticing how we start games is usually the tenor of how the game's going to go because teams, they hear the same thing we hear. Every sports show, 2 weeks ago, we was the Super Bowl favorites. They hear that shit. Another team, they know, like, so they come in motivated. We come out slow.
Yeah.
Like, hell no. Watch this. Telling you, man, that stuff is a real big aspect.
Really? Watch this.
Yeah. They pros at the end of the day, y'all. And I in these streets, everybody throws. I guess I speak more for the YouTube crowd because people like a real quick, or the social media crowd for one, to call people bums. This team sorry, and blah. I was like, I get it, but these guys are professionals, man. Like you cannot underestimate professionals.
Right,
man.
right. That's a great point, man. I cringe openly when I hear like, man, like somebody's a bum.
And the hilarious
like,
thing is, the actual bums are most of the people that's covering.
Right.
Because it's few and far between that you have people in media who actually have perspective at some type of level.
Thanks.
Like we were watching First Take this morning. I'm thinking like you got one of the greatest tight ends of all time sitting next to who?
Right.
Dude probably got cut in junior high. You know what I'm saying? He's like the fifth trombone player off the bench. Like you ain't got an athletic bone in your body, but you here to tell everybody about perspective in sport.
Hold on, Rich. You didn't get a man first team
LeBron's failures. LeBron is a world-class athlete, like one of the greatest athletes that ever walked.
Man, he gotta let that shit go, man.
But you're gonna tell us about how LeBron is feeling. Like I had that it was like an epiphany. I'm like, why were you listening to this guy? I want to hear Shannon Sharp say because he's been there. He's done that. He's been at the highest level. He worked his way from the ground. But what about this other guy?
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp be tripping sometimes too, though, man. He got that LeBron secret sauce all in his mouth sometimes. So you know what I'm saying. I'm sure y'all can read between the lines. But to your point, I would rather hear.
Yeah, that's the format. And these guys get credentials and they get become quote unquote subject matter experts. But how can you? That would be like someone who's never worked in the medical field. Hey, you didn't even work in the office as a medical assistant, but you're criticizing doctors, surgeons, heart surgeons, and cardiologists, and all that. But you haven't even filed paperwork in an office. That's what we're doing with sports media, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's because, in my opinion, people who orate well and they can basically break it down to the level of the average casual fan, they tend to thrive in this area because that's the level that most people follow it on.
It's been sensationalized. Like I said, traditional sports media died when ESPN was bought by Disney because they brought all those movie makers in there, the same people that made Cinderella and the Sleeping Beauty and all that crap. It's that same template has been brought to sports. Crap that that don't exist. It has nothing to do with the game. This is where the birth of the ultimate dumbass question. Cliff, you just won the NBA championship. You're the finals MVP. How are you feeling right now? How in the hell do you think I'm feeling right now? Darron, you guys just lost. You missed the game, winning shot, game 7, and on top of that, you're retiring. How you feel? How the hell you think I'm feeling right now?
That's why they be getting blown up on.
Facts. Man.
Facts.
You spend straight facts.
Yeah, but this is where it came from. When they started that template, and now all the networks copied it. And this is the crap that y'all see on TV every day when you watch.
And let me say this. I see we got some Houston fans on the stream. Shout out to all the Houston residents on here. And Rich has shown me this behind the scenes, man. I remember covering the Texans. You know who everybody on the Texans, now I don't know if that's still the case, but at the time they all hate was it John McClain? They all hate him. He has the dumbest questions. and they all give him these aloof, like condescending answers.
They roll their eyes.
I remember J.J. Watt was getting on John McClain's ass about him going to sleep or some shit like that. And then it's like these dudes in the media are terrible,
Richard
man.
Sherman tore his ass up in the press conference because he asked a dumb question. And then I followed up with a question. I said, Rich, when you picked off that pass, you jumped the flat, you saw it come. What did you see? Oh, he lit up. Oh, thank you, God.
A real question.
Asked a football question. He went through the whole analysis. He talked about how he watched film and he saw the formations. He knew that when they came out in this set, he told his DC, he said, hey, when they come out in this package, I'm going to jump the flat because I know Shaw going to throw to the flat. Threw it to the flat, pick six, game over.
Yeah.
Right there, NRG.
That's a real question that a player wants to answer.
That's what they want. They don't want to talk about feelings. And now it's even worse, like the girlfriends and they chase them and what they did at the cup. That's always been going on. What people do outside of in their personal lives, as long as they're not breaking the law or hurting anyone,
that's their life, man.
It should be just that. But this is the sensationalized sports media era. And unfortunately, it was like it's here to stay.
Facts. And you remember, and that's why Cam Newton that time when he was tripping when that the female reporter asked him about running routes, he was just like, "Wow, that's just." He just was. Y'all gotta understand. He's used to getting asked the dumbest question. I'm sure by female reporters to exacerbate that point. So when you ask a guy something that relates to his level of communicating the sport, then you get better results because that's what they expect to be asked. When you ask again feelings based, when you ask obvious answer questions, it's like, dude, what are we talking about right now? Exactly. It's like what I was in practice. We talking about practice, not the game. Practice. It's annoying, man.
Practice, man. Like, are you serious?
Like,
if you've been to actual practice before, you would know how silly you sound.
Yeah. Because in season, nobody's practicing hard.
Exactly.
Man. Come on, man. Cut it out. But go ahead, Darren. Me and Rich were hogging the mic.
Yeah, man. No. I loved it. I mean, I'd say, man, that was awesome, man. That's matter of fact, it doesn't get brought up enough because I watched just the inanity of some of these questions, man. And Rich, the fact that you brought up like the sourcing of where the stupidity started, you couldn't have been more accurate, man. Because in the I guess for me anyway, the glory years of like the Sports Center format and whatnot was basically from the mid '80s to probably late '90s, early 2000s. I mean, it was like must see stuff from the studio to the cats who would be becoming the events. It really was hardcore.
Look at who was covering.
Lamar
Richard, O.J. Simpson, Tom Jackson. Guys who've been there.
Guys who've been there and done it. Exactly right.
Niggas sit there and ask football questions because they'd have done it.
Right.
They took those guys away and they put college kids in there with a degree, or they put a girl with a pretty face.
And pretty girls. There you go.
Sports, and
there's nothing wrong with pretty girls.
Yeah.
But
I just
not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the proverbial raisin in the potato salad.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
We give you your Thanksgiving references. We give you movie, comedy. What else you want, man?
Somebody gonna put raisins in their potato salad today.
You know what I'm saying? That's when they started mixing.
I heard on Hoop Jargon it's good.
Yeah, but oh man, this is a good show. So as we land the plane, let's talk a little bit about predictions, man. Where do we see this game going? And we know we got to bring the coveted Lucky Whitehead Award out. So y'all stay tuned, goddamn it. Yeah. All right, so let's go predictions. Rich, who you got?
I'm gonna go 28-14 Cowboys. Like I said, I think control pace, control tempo, run the football. Nothing fancy, nothing flashy. Don't turn the ball over. Pressure Derek Carr. That's the key. And Michael Parsons gets the turkey leg. So I'm looking forward to him having a big, big day against that depleted offensive line with the Raiders. And, they have some injury issues, some personnel issues also. Of course, losing Henry Ruggs because of his situation. That's, really unfortunate what happened. But, he was a, hell of a player as well. So they're a team of shambles. But, like I said, they're wounded animals, so be careful.
Absolutely. D. Brown, what you got?
I'm gonna go cautiously optimistic. My score is probably pretty similar to to Rich's. I'll go 28-17 Cowboys. I think it may be a bit of a struggle early, settling in. I think a play or two. I think the spark to the game will be either Zeke or Pollard, and I'm thinking perhaps Pollard busts off a big explosive run, to help get the momentum going early, or maybe even a play from our guy Micah Parsons somewhere in play. But there's going to be a spark play, and then once that momentum goes, then Dallas kind of gets it going, is able to stop the game away with the run game, and glad that the big fella is back, even in limited capacity, to make that happen. So I'm gonna go 28-17. Dallas gets the Turkey Day win.
There you go. All right. I expect, we kind of just been laying out that we come out ground and pounding, which is going to lead to us ball controlling early. And I see us doing that to demoralize them. And then once we do that, we maybe get some cute stuff. You know me, I like leaving the cute stuff. I do. But you go ahead and put that in the pocket today. We don't need that today. Put that shit up. So I'm predicting 31-17. And I think 14 of that 31 is going to come later in the game when it's pretty much determined. We just kind of, we done stomped them out and their morale is gone. Right. More or less what we did to what games that we had to Atlanta
game. Right.
Yeah. So I expect something to look to something of that sort. 31-17, good guys. Good
guys it is. I think the home energy is going to help too. You know what? In retrospect, real quick before we get to the Lucky Whitehead Award, we talked about Conor McGovern, who had a really tough day. Mm-hmm. And looking back on Rich and Cliff, I was thinking, you know what? The magnitude of that game in that stadium, in that atmosphere, was probably not the best game to start Conor McGovern in his first game. Because, man, I mean, that's a tough game for a seasoned vet. But if any of y'all have ever been to Arrowhead, which I have a few times, and I mean, I went when they were really, really good. But that place is as electric a venue and stadium as any in pro football. I give it top 3. I mean, it's like the Dome in New Orleans, maybe Green Bay. Lambeau gets nuts. Man, Kansas City is rabid. The Raiders, when they're going, because the Raider fans is entity unto themselves. But in terms of stadium atmosphere, that's a tough place, man. So I think the home energy is going to help some of these guys that are trying to find their way, because you almost got to have to remember it's a really young team, man. So a lot of these experiences, even though they taking an ass whooping along the way in these last couple of weeks, but hopefully, like most good ass whippings, you learn from them.
You better.
You better. And when you get the opportunity to get it right next time out, you can take the experience from the ass whipping and be better. Mm-hmm. So, and then you got to keep that in mind. This is not for y'all. This is for the affiliates out there. You got to understand that this team isn't a finished product. 2 of the 3 losses the Cowboys have suffered with teams who played in the Super Bowl. Keep that in mind. So this is the team. Do they have promise? Yes. We talked about it on this show. They won't have growing. I mean, there were going to be bumps in the road. They have flaws or whatever. This team is growing. It's really young, and this is an opportunity today to try to get a good vibe going again. I think the home energy, and if we're gonna use the Thanksgiving Day thing, a little home cooking, helps them out, and we get the dub. So where we going with the Lucky, man?
Yeah, so let's get the Lucky. And I got to say about Raiders fans that they're a special breed, man. I don't care where in the country you are.
Bro. Yes, sir.
I remember going to a tape in the first tape at Texas Live 2 years ago. There's about 8 of them. And the whole thing full of Cowboy fans. That's when I lived in Dallas. Them 8 dudes was disrupting the show, man. Like, they are a different breed, man. They just a red.
Yeah.
Like the whole time. I'm like, it is a different breed.
Yeah,
coming decked out. I was like, first off,
it's going to be at least 60-40, if not damn near 50-50, because they travel hard.
They coming. Oh, no doubt.
They already in Dallas.
Man,
they got like big factions
here at the Hall of Fame. And when they started, talking about the Raiders greats, and they showed a highlight clip because Coach Flores went in this year. Man, I got film of them, man. They went nuts.
Yeah.
I
love it, man.
I
love a good Raiders fan base.
Together. They were louder than the whole damn stadium.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
They were louder for Tom Flores than they were for Peyton Manning.
I love them.
That says a lot, man. They love the football team.
For a hot second, I was like, damn, I wouldn't mind being a Raiders fan. Like how I could get turned up when I started getting that song.
Fan base, man, because like I said, they
look like fun, bro.
I always love the Raiders fan base, man, because I mean they don't cap at all. I mean they get behind.
They're one of those classic fan bases, and I hope the NFL screwed them over because there's not a single actual Las Vegas Raiders fan. These are the old Raiders fans.
Yeah,
Oakland.
I feel bad for them too, man.
They should have moved their franchise if they wanted a team in Las Vegas. Move them, call them something else. Save the history, leave them in Oakland because you're going to expand it someday and bring them back. Like they did with the Browns.
They mama call them Oakland. I'm gonna call them Oakland.
Because when you think of Raiders fans and you think about the people that live in Las Vegas, it's not the same. Raiders fans, blue collar. Lunch bucket,
Little America, yep.
Right. The galvanizing thing, right? Man. Raiders,
and
man.
You think about Raiders Las Vegas Raiders fans. You think about some clown in a Egyptian cotton shirt sipping a mimosa. That ain't no damn Raiders fan.
They ain't no damn Raiders fan. No. Not by a long shot.
I agree. Man. Shout out to the Raiders fan out there. They're gonna take his ass whooping today, though.
Yeah,
they're gonna take his ass whooping, but
you about to. All right, here's everybody's favorite part of the show, the god doggone Lucky Whitehead Award. We got that award on the show, man.
Yeah.
Look at Lucky coming in and out. Lucky. Give y'all some graphics on this show, man.
Love it.
All right, so Lucky Whitehead Award. I'll jump it off. I ain't giving nobody shit. Y'all don't deserve the coveted Lucky Whitehead Award. Nobody gets it over here. We don't just hand out Luckies. Go ahead, Jimmy. You don't score a touchdown. You know what? All right. Maybe Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
I give him half a Lucky. He got half a Lucky.
Half a Lucky. A piece of Lucky.
Right.
A little smidge of luck. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I love if there was one to be handed out, I think the only one for me that could even remotely get it would be Michael, man. I mean, he was almost as single-handedly responsible for whatever Dallas had that was positive on Sunday. I mean, he set the tone with his play for Dallas to even be remotely in that game, as long as they were. So for that reason, he's the only one to get it. Everybody else, I'm with you. Don't even look this way. It's Michael Parsons or nobody at all. So Michael gets it for me this week.
I'm gonna make some history here.
Okay.
I'm gonna give for the first time.
I'm gonna give you solo.
I'm gonna give our Lucky Whitehead Award to our guest because
that's a good call. That's
even before then, you're saying he and I some inbox messages.
That's a good call.
Yeah. But my man Sean called. He called it down the middle. Yeah, it came across his head talk, but it was factual. You know what I'm saying? He talked about the defensive line of the Chiefs causing problems with. He talked about he told us about 95 having a big game. He talked about them putting pressure on Dak, moving him out of his spot, shorts, disrupting the short passing game, containing the run. He literally outlined the recipe that they used to beat the Cowboys.
I mean, down to the quarter tablespoon.
Yeah.
Down to the measuring cup, man. It's like, bro, they are actually doing exactly what they said. That's a great
shout out to Sean, boy.
Shout out to Sean. That's a great
we might have to make a new award for the Sean Smith Award, man.
Right?
Just whoever just calls it. The Negro Dominus.
He basically dropped the mic. He came in.
He did.
Dropped the mic. Then he went to church and left us here.
Then he went to church. He casually talks shit.
That's awesome.
That was cold, man. That was cold. He was in the parking lot of church. He just dropped the dime on us.
He blessed us with the prediction. Then went and prayed for our souls.
Yeah,
that was awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
a great
man.
call, Rich. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a great call.
Yeah. All right, you won that one, Rich.
Yeah, no doubt. No
That's
doubt.
a tough act to follow.
That's a great call.
You won.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, a good show, man. Hopefully we go out there and handle
Great
business.
show, man.
You guys enjoy y'all families, man. Especially y'all listeners.
Likewise,
y'all enjoy
gentlemen.
y'all's. Anything y'all got before we peace out, fellas?
Man, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, starting with you two gentlemen and everybody that joins us each and every week, listen to the show. Appreciate the love, man. Subscribe, smash those likes, keep rocking with us. This thing is growing. And just enjoy a good day, reflecting on, where your blessings come from, man, and hope for a Cowboy victory. Victory whiskey tastes better than lost whiskey.
We're thankful for all of y'all, man. Like, we
Absolutely.
appreciate the love and the support and, the good times. So we appreciate everybody for rocking with us, sharing. We see the likes going up. We see the views going up. So we're very thankful for all of y'all. Let's keep it going. Y'all keep feeding us. We're going to keep doing it. So
there you go.
A happy belated birthday to you, Cliff. I know you
appreciate it.
Had a big one last week. So
yeah.
You're going to be joining the ranks of us old folks pretty soon.
Man, I'm crawling to the finish line, man. Last night I was crawling to the finish line. Last week. Yeah, I was on the struggle bus to start off.
That's wait till you get to your 40s.
I can see the projections. It's getting worse and worse. But thank y'all, gentlemen, man. Thank y'all for a great show and y'all who patronize it. This started from just a text message to a product. And that we all committed to doing every week. Schedules allow me to do so. And I hope y'all see the work that we put into this and in the time because, we can do anything else. Y'all could be doing anything else, but us coming together makes this show what it is. It's only going to get better. I promise you. You, goddammit. Straight no chaser.
Straight no chaser, man. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Here next week. Who knows?
It might be a pro in the building next week. Another
and again,
pro.
In the broadcasting round, that is called a tease. So tune in and tap in and see what happens.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace, fellas.
No chaser, baby. No
Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon. Shout out to
Hoop Jargon.